Welcome to the Seven Figure Builder Show. My name is Julie Baranick, founder of Seven Figure Builder, where we help high achieving CEOs connect with their dream clients to scale to seven figures and beyond. And I'm here today with my friend Leah Ray Getz. Hey, Leah Ray.
Hello. Hello, Julie. Pleasure to be here with you today.
I am thrilled to dig in with you today. We have got so much to talk about. So, first and foremost, where in the world are you?
I'm in Southwest Florida. So if
Wow.
you've heard of Fort Myers, Naples, we're actually in Cape Coral, which is right across the bridge from Fort Myers. So it's a common vacation spot, bright and sunny, and the weather's just starting to turn nice. So this is now becoming our season versus we stayed in the air conditioning all summer.
Yeah, not the blazing heat. I know. We always get antsy. I'm in Maryland and we get antsy right around the January, February. We need to head to Florida, Mark.
Yes, all y'all just come down in herds at that point.
That we do. So,
Mhm.
for those people that haven't had the pleasure to meet you yet, can you tell us just a bit about what you do with your business?
Yeah, so I am the co-owner, co-founder of Digital Trailblazer. I work with my husband, Todd, hand in hand with all of this. But we really specialize in helping coaches and course creators, experts, consultants to create, launch, sell, and scale their programs. We're internet marketers through and through. That's where we came up in this industry and really helping to optimize their systems, their copy, and scale and drive significant traffic to get to those 30, 50, $100,000 months that they're looking for.
I love it. And you didn't start in this industry, if I'm not mistaken. So, how did you get here?
Yes, it was a long roundabout journey, but so I started as a registered nurse. My husband was a band teacher. We ended up kind of going into this consulting thing that we were doing for a while. We were both traveling, and after 10 years of marriage and praying for children, we finally adopted our first son. And I was stuck being a single mom Sunday afternoons through Thursday night, Friday morning, because Todd was still traveling. And after 10 years of praying for that child, that is not what we were looking for. So we came online. At the time, we were living in rural Oklahoma, and there really wasn't an opportunity to replace his income anywhere near where he was locally. So we looked online and we tried to figure out, how do people make money online? What is all this about? We got started, we got a coach, we learned about affiliate marketing and how that works. And that's really how we really took off. And we got our first six figures online, built that out. And then eventually people started asking us, well, how do we do our lead generation? And how do we do these different things that we were doing to create our success? So that led us on the path of creating and offering our own courses. And it grew and grew from there. And that's really where things took off for us.
Wow, that's amazing. So, is your world at this point primarily around the course creation? I know you mentioned that, but like, is
Yeah.
that your primary focus right now?
Yeah. Primarily it's info products. So courses and coaching, it's the same thing. It's just where it is on the spectrum of how much access they get versus how much they do on their own. And so we work everywhere on that spectrum. We do have some clients that are, doing agency type stuff and that, but the vast majority are coaches and course creators.
So there are lots of people listening, and I'm sure they've dabbled in the course creation world and may have fallen miserably on their face. So what would you say to them? And is
Yeah.
that common?
No comment. Unfortunately. So I run into tons and tons of people online who they've put all of this work, like they have some great expertise, like hands down, what they know is fabulous and marketable, but they took the time, they created this thing and just it's not selling. And it comes down to three things that are off. Okay. Number one, the messaging or the framing of the offer is off. Like that's saying, I'm a keto coach and I'm going to teach you a ketogenic diet. I have Google, I have YouTube. I'm not going to pay someone to teach me a ketogenic diet. Information is not a result, right? People these days are not going to be paying for information. Or you see this sometimes with like language programs or like Excel programs or different things like that. It's like, no, those are all means to an end. What's the end they want? They want to lose weight. Like you give me 20 pounds in 2 months, I'm paying you whatever I can to do that, right? Because that's the result that people desire. So switching and changing just even the positioning, if the core content is probably going to be the same, but how you position this is critical because that goes from, that's nice to here's my credit card, I need to work with you. And that's what you need to create in your copy and your messaging to actually get people to pull the trigger. So that's number one. Number two are systems. There's a huge failure people will do all kinds of silly stuff, hustling in Messenger, one, and they're just DMing people to try to make sales. And people need 7 to 12 touches to make any sort of purchasing decision. I messaging people 12 times and like things are going to fall apart. Right. And so just that amount of work needed to get in front of people is too much. So it falls off the track there. So having really good systems that continually move people closer to you, nurture them, move them towards a sale is critical. But the third piece is often the most messed up, if you will, or the biggest challenge for people is traffic. So traffic is one of the biggest challenges that people face, and that's getting people's attention. As you can imagine, the people, the McDonald's at Times Square is going to do a heck of a lot more sales than the McDonald's they plop down in the center of the Mojave Desert without a road to it. Like, you need people to see what's going on. I don't care how awesome your program is, what kind of great systems and copy you've got. If no one finds it, you're not making any sales. And so learning how to drive traffic and to keep that sales pipeline full is critical to being able to have any sort of continual money coming in through this. That's a big one for a lot of folks.
Yeah. Yeah. And, so often we get tired of, or feel tired saying the same message over and over, and we feel like it's redundant. But in my mind, I heard someone make the analogy of Burger King has always told us that they make burgers every single day of the year. They tell us that they make burgers in case we forgot.
Yeah.
Have to do that redundant and then finally say, I want a burger. And you go have
That's precisely correct.
So what do you find? I'm sure there's lots of techniques, but what do you find has worked the best for the people that you work with in getting that traffic?
One of the strategies that we love the best, and it's not required to work with us. We have people that use that. We work with other strategies, but to get the fastest results, the quickest impact, it's going to be paid traffic. And still today, I'm going to say Facebook ads because I'm old school and I've been at this for years, but it's Meta, right? So Instagram, Facebook, paid traffic. Facebook has so much data on everybody. They can hunt down and find the people who are interested in what you're offering way more efficiently than you can. And you're always going to be paying with time or money. And let's face it, time's way more precious than money, right? So we work with our clients hand in hand, teaching paid traffic. So don't hear me wrong that a lot of people are like, oh, she's saying to go hire someone to do paid ads. No, I'm not, because that's a big pitfall. Finding a good ads person that you can afford before your very, very significant revenue is like a needle in a haystack. It is not something that I would advise. In order to run your business, like, sales are your business. Like, sales, if you're not making sales, you're not making money, you don't have a business, right? So you as the business owner, you need to be able to control that. You need to understand the basics and how to actually drive some traffic and make sales and know the foundational level stuff, so that as you grow and as you're, $50,000, $100,000 a month, that's when you can hand off your ads to somebody else. Before then, that should really be in your domain or your partner's domain, because you got to handle that. You just have to be able to manage your business and know how to turn things up, how to turn things down. But a big problem that people face is that they just try ads on their own. They don't know what they're doing. They have no experience with it. And please don't do this. Get help. Even if it's not from us, just from somebody, because I love paid ads. I absolutely love it. But there's so many core elements that must be optimized before they're going to work. So like, I've run into people who are like, well, paid ads don't work. And I've spent $3,000 so far. I've not made a single sale. I'm like, well, tell me what you're doing. Like, what's the ad running to? Oh, well, it's this page. It's a checkout page for a $997 offer. There's no copy, there's no webinar, there's no VSL. It's just like, they're supposed to see an ad and be willing to spend $1,000 on a button, the next button. Like, I turned that off. Like, stop. It's not okay. So ads are powerful, but with anything that has that much power, it's going to amplify what you already have. It's going to amplify the problems in your copy. It's going to amplify the problems in your sales process and systems, or how good they are, right? It's just going to get you more people faster and it's not going to fix all the other issues. So all of those things have to be really dialed in first. Then you can really reach more people and have a very leveraged approach by pouring some paid traffic into it.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And I mean, from what I've seen, and I would ask if you recommend, but like, you need to get a working process first. Like you need a working funnel. That's where you need the experts to help you with that, to make sure that things are actually working. And then you can pour more gasoline on the fire. Otherwise you just have a bonfire mess. It's like you're pouring people into a broken funnel.
Yeah.
And you're wondering why they're not converting. Like you need to actually make sure it's working first and then pour the people into it on top.
Yeah. And I think that it's important to note here too, because some people hear this and like, oh, she's saying paid ads, we'll do that. And then they're just getting started and they're thinking, well, I'm going to do like a $7 or a $47 or whatever. That is very expert level. Okay. Very expert level to be able to create a profit from a low ticket offer with paid ads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that I would recommend for anybody getting started at all. With paid ads, you need to be able to afford the paid ads. If you only have one offer, but it's $1,000 or above, paid ads are awesome. They're fabulous. You can really make that work. But people are saying, well, I'm going to do a $97 or 200. Okay, well, what's your upsell? Well,
Right.
usually they haven't built that yet. Right. And so they're not going to be profitable because they don't have the upsells, but they're funnel hacking very successful people who are doing these little tripwire offers and things. And they're like, well, such and such is doing it. Well, did you know such and such is actually paying $700 to get that $47 sale? And the only way they can do that is because they know for every 4 sales of that 47, they are now getting an upgrade into their $5,000 program.
Right.
Right. So stay in the mid to higher ticket range for this. The only time I would ever advise low ticket by itself is if you have a massive organic audience. So if you've got a massive TikTok or YouTube or Instagram following, yeah, put together something little, throw it out there, make some money. But for, if you've got a pay for traffic, if you don't have that massive audience, then let's price that, make it a beefy enough program. You can price it well that you can afford to get people in front of your offer.
Yeah. That way, when you have more than, it takes you more than $1 to get somebody to view your page and then X amount of dollars to get them to sell, you're actually making a profit because your sale is actually more than what you're spending for your ads. So it needs to be profitable overall. Otherwise, it's a losing proposition.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Awesome. So you work with people and you take them through that whole process, like really evaluate what they're doing. Here are the gaps. Let's refine them. Let's get them to work together better and then pump the traffic in, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is so incredibly powerful just to have that expert, viewpoint and be able to see the things that we're not seeing and be able to address the issues that, we don't know what we don't know. It's so hard to see those pain points when you're so close to it.
I love positive thinking and I love mindset and all this kind of stuff, but there's a difference, like positive thinking and, meditation and stuff. It's not a business model, right? It's not an actual business plan to get you where you want to go. And I think a lot of people, they hear the success stories or they hear the copy for the ads that everybody, success, 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 all this money so fast, blah, 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 blah. And they don't even dig into the fine print of like what actually happened. They're just hearing this, the little news lines, and that's all they're getting. Like, well, I'm going to manifest this. And you're like, okay, but you need a plan. Like, have you ever, like I've talked to people and they're like, well, I want to get to $100,000 a month by the end of the year. I'm like, awesome. What's the plan for that? Well, I'm going to get out there. Like I always make things happen. If I set my mind to it, I'm going to do it. I'm like, okay, well, have you ever sold info products before? Like, have you ever done this? No. I'm like, okay. So there's no plan. You've never done this before. Even like people who've done other types of marketing, or like we work with those folks even because this is a different space, right? It's the highest level of marketing essentially needed because the profit margins are so high. It's so competitive. And it's like, oh, come on, let's create a plan. Like, yes, think positive, do all of those good things, but let's actually put some steps behind it. So you have a way to actually get there and not, waiting on the lottery to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And what, other than not having a plan, but what are some more of the gaps that you see that people, are missing or just aren't aware of?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people are going right for a sales call with folks. So they're connecting in some way, and whether that's through their Instagram or content or whatever, and they're just trying to get them on a call right away. These people have no idea who you are. And that is a really big ask out the
Mhm.
front door, right? Especially, I'll see this a lot with people who've done well with referrals. So they've built a warm network, they've got a lot of referrals coming through, and they're like, yeah, my close rate is like 80%, and I'm amazing, and I'm just going to put some ads together. I'm going to do this thing and drive a bunch of traffic, and it's going to be phenomenal, and I'm just going to scale. It's like, honey, like a cold dead fish could close at 80% on referrals. Like, they're coming to you ready to buy. Like, they want to buy your stuff. They know who you are and are already made the decision to buy. So that should be easy, easy money. When you start driving traffic, when you start to scale, everything has to be super tightened up because they don't know you. They just ran across your Facebook ad, or they saw you in a summit, or they saw you somewhere, and they're just sniffing you out first. And you have to allow them to do that. And you have to provide the nurture process to really warm people up. And some people mistake this and they're like, oh, so like it's going to take a few months to warm. I'm like, no, this could take 24 to 48 hours,
Mhm.
but you're in their face during that time. Like, for example, so we'll run a Facebook ad in part of the funnel. We're collecting their name, email, phone number. They're going into our system. They're getting text messages. Our people are calling them. They're getting emails. On top of that, they're told to join the Facebook group. Well, when they join the Facebook group, they're told to friend request me. Whenever someone friend requests you, they start automatically following you. Well, that means not only are they going to get the content in the group, they're also going to start getting my personal content on my profile, plus all of the reels and lives and things that I'm doing on my personal and in the group. And now, like, they've seen me 50 times in 24 hours, and they're like, she's awesome. Like, or I hate her. And I'm moving on.
Everywhere.
I want to polarize, sort, and move on, right? And do it quickly. And so when you create these really great systems that are highly optimized, like, you want to heat them up, polarize them one way or the other, and keep rolling. And then have those opportunities, though, for the slow burners to sit there and slow burn till they're ready, till they're like, okay, now I'm ready for a coach. And she's been serving me every week in her Facebook group, blah, 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 for so long. I want to work with her.
Absolutely. No, and it's a lot of coordination, a lot of planning. Obviously, when you have an expert to help you, it's a hell of a lot easier, but like
Yes.
there's a lot of pieces to feel like you're everywhere,
Mhm.
once you get that initial connection, but it's extremely powerful when you are, and you can get those really high conversion rates. And, back to what you mentioned about the cold leads, like it's all about trust. And I know we all hear about know, like, and trust, and it sounds so cliche, but if we don't trust in something, we're not going to purchase something. So however you get there, like, you need to be able to earn their trust, and therefore they're going to want to have more of a relationship with you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I think about someone tells me to buy something, or there's some product that I heard about, I'm like, I want to check it out. Where do I go? I go to Amazon.
Mhm.
Why? Because I trust Amazon. I
Right.
could find it on any random website. Probably a lot of websites do it, offer it, but I have never bought from them. I don't know about them, right?
Yeah.
I don't have that know, like, and trust factor with those. I know, like, and trust Amazon because I know if anything's wrong, they're gonna let me return it, get my money back. If it doesn't ship, like all this kind of stuff, they've got my back. I know, like, and trust them. So it's the same thing with all the other products and things that we buy.
Which is really funny with that arrangement. And I do the same thing. Like, if I want to
Yeah,
buy it, I just go to Amazon. But we're not trusting them for the actual product. We're trusting them for the delivery of the product and the customer service around the product, and that the ease of getting the product, and you store my information. So the security of that transaction. But it's
exactly.
like everything surrounding the actual product themselves. And then the product is a totally different relationship, which is just funny how, that relationship has been built.
It is. It is. It's a beautiful business model.
It
They
is.
really
They don't have to
do.
create a darn thing. Yeah. So in your journey to where you are in your business,
Hmm.
to my understanding, your focus has been around flexibility and family and being able to have that quality of life. So how have you made that happen? Like, how have you been able to work smarter, not harder, to create that ultimate vision that you were after?
Yeah, I think a big thing that we've done ourselves and we've helped a lot of our clients move into is fewer and fewer one-on-one clients and a really good group program. Like if you can put together an amazing group program that serves your people, then just crank up the price as high as you want on your one-on-one. So if they really want it, they can get it, but that it's going to be way higher price and it's actually going to be worth your time then, right? Like where our group program is very differently priced than our one-on-one. Why? Because our time is crazy valuable. I got 2 little kiddos. We are working on the paperwork and stuff for number 3. I want to serve my clients. I want to run my business, but I don't want it to take over my life. And I want to be a mom and I want to be a wife and all of these other components. And so a really big thing for folks in creating more of that leverage is moving into a group focus instead of the one-on-one.
And this is kind of related, but how would you encourage business owners to have fun in their business again? Like it's so easy for us to get burned out or overwhelmed or just, caught up in the minutia of every day. But what would you recommend for people?
Honestly, it's the people and it's the connections. And so whether that's, so say you've built a team, like I love my team. We have a team huddle every morning. I do training and we touch base on different things and we're joking and having fun. I've surrounded myself with people I trust and I enjoy. So that's really important. But you can do that with your clients, have fun and just be really authentic with them. But I highly suggest having your own core like mastermind group. I've got my business sisters and there's 4 of us and we're all over the country and we get together a couple times a year. We fly in for a weekend. We just are together. Sometimes we're really productive and we create content together and like mastermind and like fix each other's businesses and all this kind of stuff. And other times we just like having someone who knows the journey, who knows the struggles, the ups and downs, all of those sorts of things to really support and elevate each other is huge, huge.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. And, in that journey, you guys have accomplished a ton, both, personally, professionally, all across the board. But how do you define success? What does that look like for you?
Success is ending this journey with a well done, good and faithful servant. Yeah, it's doing well with the talents given to us. And obviously it's all encompassing versus in one area. I mean, I could crush in business and have my kids hate me. That clearly would not
Yeah.
be a good thing. Right. It's all of the above because we are not there's not one element to us. Like we have all of these different facets of our lives and to be able to do that as balanced as possible. There's going to be seasons where you're focused more on one than the other. Just really optimizing the talent, like doing what you can with what you've been given to the highest level. To me, that's success.
I love that. Absolutely. And it's funny with your journey and my journey has been similar, but through all different aspects of, nursing to professional to entrepreneur to all of it. Like there's so many different skills that we each have that you can use in so many different ways that I think it's very powerful to be able to pull them out and change somebody else's life with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you tell them?
That's a huge thing. So completely off topic, but I honestly, I think I'd have to say something like Jesus loves you. That you are worthy of love. I'd probably have to use a little preachy moment, but then that's just the core of who I am, right? And that's if you had the attention of all 7 or whatever it is billion people, like that's probably the most important message that I could give out. If I was to, funnel that down into something more businessy and entrepreneurship minded, like it would really be around the fact that we live in a time where opportunity is endless. Opportunity is as like, however creative you can be, like we have so many opportunities. 150 years ago, we'd all be like kids having babies or factory workers or farmers. Like we didn't have opportunity. We have so much opportunity. Like go out there and get it. Like make the future. Don't just talk about it, but actually take the steps to create the vision that you're looking for. Because don't let anyone tell you you can't. But you got to invest the time, the energy. You've got to learn. You got to grow. But there's so much potential out there, and there's so much that people aren't. Think about it. Even just like when we were like little kids, if we had all the information of the internet on our, like, seriously, guys, you want to learn something? Here you go. Like, remember having to go to the library and the Dewey Decimal System and like, oh,
Encyclopedias or
we've got so like, go out there, learn something and go do something big. We've got so much opportunity today.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And you can teach yourself, learn anything out there. I mean, I'm self-taught in so much of what I've learned in my career. And, it's funny. When I was learning photography, I wanted to learn photography when my kids were little, and I didn't know how. I was awful at it. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go look up a college curriculum, and I'm going to go find the books in that college curriculum and buy all the books in the curriculum and then teach myself the curriculum. And I became a, well-known professional photographer doing all sorts of events and equestrian and weddings and you
Wow.
do anything you want. So I totally agree with you. And I love that your faith is part of who you are, and I am as well. So it's part of everything. So that's extremely powerful. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. And how can listeners support you in your work? Where can they find you online?
Yes. So digitaltrailblazer.com is our website. We got all kinds of goodies. I actually have a specific goodie for folks listening. So if you go to digitaltrailblazer.com/podcast, that's not plural, that's singular, podcast. I've got a really good freebie there for you. 3 proven coaching funnels for high ticket clients. Systems obviously was a core element of what we talked about today. If you know that your systems aren't as optimized as they should be, absolutely download this, go through it. It's really good. And I'll even tease out that if you go through the whole thing, there will be an opportunity to get a free funnel set up. So, if you don't have that stuff yet, you really want to get this.
Awesome. I love it. And we will definitely have the links below for people to come check you out. And where can they find you on the socials? Like, where are you most?
Yes, Facebook. I mean, we're everywhere, so you'll find me no matter where. But if you want to actually talk and I'm actually active on the platform, it's definitely Facebook. So we've got a very active Facebook group of like 9,000 people or something for entrepreneurs. So come on, you find me on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Leah Ray Getz. That's just my name. You'll find me. There'll be a link to join my group within my banner, I think, or cover photo on my profile. And we have a good old time there. We do lots of training and resources and have fun in the group.
I love it. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Leah Ray. Appreciate you being on today. This was fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if you found value in this episode, please do share it. That's how people find us. And you can find me at sevenfigurebuilder.com. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.